Hi everybody, happy holidays. Check it out. Tycho and Josh say happy holidays too. Where are they? So far away. Okay, so let's see if we're even here. You're probably wondering, what the heck are you supposed to do with this present? So let's just review it. You have a bag. This is your handy dandy foot and hand kit for the year, which all of us are spending a lot more time sitting and on our computers and doing strange things and not taking care of ourselves. So I thought what's best than to give this. So in it, you will find lotion, which I put some essential oils in, a bouncy ball, it's a big pink one, a next size down, it may be different colors, and two little bouncy balls. Ba-bum. Okay, so let's start there. So we're gonna start with the hands. Now we don't really think about all the musculature in the hands, in the intrinsic part of the hand, nor upstream. So just a kind of clarification on your anatomy a little bit, a lot of our pain in our hands is not just the small muscles in the front and back of the hand, but they're further upstream. So you'll sometimes have to look a little bit further to discover where the issues are. So the first thing you want to know is a couple of hand stretches. So you can press your hands together and this will stretch your hands this way. A lot of people actually can't make this angle. So start with this and then we'll move down. And then from here, we're gonna flip it. We'll bring it in this way. And then we'll go out. And back to the beginning. So we're stretching under here, pressing. And you can do this as many times as you want. You're sitting at the computer, you need a little break. Moving this way. Flipping your hands. Now you're stretching the top. And then I like to interlace and kind of come through that way, so it's a little rotational stretch. And then we'll take the hands and we will roll them, little figure eights. And then go the awkward way. And I'm going a little faster than you might want to go, so you can take your time. You just have these, this is your toolkit video of what to do to stretch and take care of your hands. So I'm going to bend my elbow, take my other hand and flex back. And I'm again trying to stretch this area. It's important not to lock out your elbow, but keep it a little bent. And then release that. I'm going to take the thumb of my free hand, I'm going to stick it right in the bridge there, and I'm going to flip over it. I'm drawing outwards with the thumb, fingers curl over, and I'm gliding my hand that way, so I'm stretching there. So this is more of an assisted stretch for yourself. And you can make a fist now and keep drawing that down. That's going to be like, whoa, hello hands. And let that go. And then we'll do the other side. So flipping, palm out, drawing back. And putting the thumb in there, maybe a little short on that one. I'll go a little longer here. So drawing over. So how much you fold over is up to you, but it's important to not yank your hand back, but more of like pull, it's like you're tractioning that way to pull down. And the thumb is creating a little space underneath, which gives you some support so you don't over compress your wrist joints. And then make a fist, keep drawing over. So be gentle with yourself, breathe, and let that go. So those are a couple stretches you can do for the hands. So the next step is to take out your balls. So we're going to kind of look at the palm, like where's the camera here? And we're gonna try to work out this area and here and even into the side and right in the middle. So we're gonna do tiny little circles. First we're gonna start here. And you just rocking and rolling little circles there. And if it feels like not enough pressure, push down with your other hand. Rock and roll little circles there. And reverse your circles. And then moving down to here, it's going to go little circle over the index finger, then the middle finger, then the ring, then the pinky. So these are kind of all circle, circle, circle. Reverse it, pinky, ring, middle finger, index finger. And again, how much you do this is up to you. You can do more or less. This is kind of a short session because I want to just give you the rigmarole of how to do it. So right here we're going to go little long circles, and reversing it. And we'll go into the center of the lower part of the palm, little circles there. Now this part I like to go kind of deep, so I push it a little bit harder. And you don't have to flex your hands back. You can if you want. You can kind of relax them a little bit. You can go the other way, right into that wrist area. And if you want, now you can also go not just circles, but gliding back and forth in this region, right in the lower part. And then going into the center. So into the center. Alright, just making sure I got my list here. Alright, and we did our gliding already. You can glide anywhere. You can glide here, then here, then here. So you're going to go back and forth. Lower part of the palm, closer to the elbow, and then middle palm, and then upper palm near the fingers. And again, I'm going a little fast, so it could be slower for you. Okay, next we have stripping. So we're going to strip from one corner to the thumb, corner all the way up. And if you think about this, your skeleton, we're just crossing on the tendinous part of the skeleton. So the tendon is what attaches muscle to bone so that you can activate. So now I'm gonna actually let go here. You can push down. You're gonna just strip the tendon up and down of the thumb. You can do as many as you want, maybe just one or two. Index finger, if you lose. Middle finger. Ring finger, it's tricky. Sometimes it helps to give a little pressure. And pinky. Now anywhere along your route, if you're just like, ugh, I really need to stay there, maybe hang out there and then give a little pressure. Try to relax. And give a little more pressure. So some of this technique I'm borrowing from this thing called the melt method, which you may or may not know about. It was kind of a big fad for a while. It's not the first method that's used balls to release things, but I'm also just adding a lot more of my own experimentations. Okay, so the first thing you want to feel is just kind of let your palms relax and just see how does that feel different for you. You might want to close your eyes to evaluate. Now you don't have to do this every time, but I love to do it at least every once in a while just to know, okay, I am making a difference. You can open, close your hand, just feel that difference. And then we can do the same kind of stuff on this part of the palm hand. So not the palm, but the back of the hand. So we can glide back and forth, and it's really kind of bumpy, so you don't want to push too hard. Those are all the tendons on the top. And we'll have to move middle part, a little bumpy, and on the knuckles. And then we'll strip again. So what we just did was here, here, here. Now we're going to strip down, 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 So we go stripping, ring finger, middle finger, more or less, index finger. It's not gonna be perfect. And then thumb will have to be a slightly different direction. And then we'll just go the other way. Thumb, index finger, ring, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. And then any big circles you want to make on there. And essentially you can just play at this point. So just kind of knowing where you can play. And let's glide on the wrist fold. So if you fold your hand back, right there, we'll glide back and forth. Okay. See how that feels. So you can take any or all of these exercises in one session, or you can do a whole remapping, whatever feels good. So the little balls now, I'm kind of fine tuning. Now also, just so you know, with the little balls, we did the bigger sort of or medium sized ball. The little balls can actually be useful for gliding too, but kind of between, so you can go in the middle here. We're gonna just though use them right now to squeeze. So we're getting the inner webbing and just doing a fascial release on that area. Let's go between the ring finger and the index finger. Did I say ring finger, middle finger? I don't know which fingers I'm talking about, do I? I'm squeezing, I'm giving it a nice squeeze. And then we're gonna go into now the ring finger and the middle finger. And then pinky finger, ring finger. If you're getting really excited about this, you can go into the other knuckle. It's a lot less intuitive there. Okay, so that is for the hand. Let's go into the forearm. So again, you can have a choice between any size. The bigger one's going to give broader brush strokes. The medium-sized one is going to give more fine-tuned brush strokes. And just a FYI, we're going to do one hand, and then if you want to do the other hand, just replay the video for that, so it doesn't get too long here. So I'm going to take a broader brush stroke and use this bigger size ball, and I'm going to start with my palm up. And you wouldn't believe it, but a lot of this is usually really tight on us. This is sometimes the big game changer for people. So you have to give some pressure, and you're going to just press down like you're kneading dough, if you've ever kneaded dough, and you push down and out, and you have to slightly bend your body. So you're going to need a surface like what I'm on, like a table, to do this. And just, to add to this, use your abdominals so you don't strain your back, just to support you, so have a little core control. Keep breathing. You're gonna just strip down. So keep going on your own. I'm gonna just show you, gonna strip down the side here of the ulna, that's the bone that leads to your elbow. And then we go into the little divot right here. That's where I just went. And then I'm going again into the other divot, which is right, if you kind of think about your index finger is right there, and then it travels up, and it's usually pretty tender. Now this is an area, if you flex your elbow, you'll feel it where it is. That little area you can knead in with your fingers and be like, okay, and then this is the hardest part. How do you get the ball there? So you kind of have to do some contortion, or you can do a little bit easier, a little pressure in, or you can ask a friend to do this for you. So, and then you can knead in there. So this is right here on the radius and between the sort of the interfascia here is really tender. This controls some of the thumb and other fingers. So we're just giving it a good rock. Okay. And another thing you can do is anytime you find a spot, again, I'm just encouraging you, now I'm going to use my other forearm, I'm going to just press into a spot. So right now I'm pressing right here. That's also another tender area. And I'm just gonna press down and breathe. And if you can get this to work, you can push down, keep pushing down, and then slide, slide, slide. And maybe you just do tiny slides. Tiny slides. Remember, we're trying to go on to the tissue in between the bones. If you get right on the bone, it's a little hard to balance, and you'll feel that. So go ahead and rotate there, and then we'll go palm down, stripping down, down. So again, I'm kneading. This one's easier. I started with the hard one. It's easier to have the palm down, and I'm just stripping. So again, I'm going stripping down, down, down. And you can see, if I flex my forearm a little bit here, you can see how the muscles, they wrap. So most of our forearm looks like this rotational, like candy can twist. It's really pretty, actually, all the muscles. So we can, even though we're stripping in long, sort of longitudinal lines, just kind of know that your musculature there is actually wrapping. And this is going to make a pretty big difference for you. And maybe you want to focus on one target area, a little hot spot. I have to keep readjusting the ball. That's normal. It's not going to be perfect. And again, I'm pushing with my other hand. It's very helpful. Okay. All right. So just evaluate now. Close your eyes. Hands come down. It may take a second for the tension that was building to melt. And once it does, you're going to notice some differences. And just see how it's changed. You can try doing little stretches again and see, does it feel different? You can test it. It might be a little tender actually, but you're gonna notice, maybe if you do like little piano fingers, how much more motion you have in that one hand. So go ahead and switch to the other hand, restart, go back on the video, and then I'm gonna fast forward. Once you've done that hand, you can come back to this moment, and we're gonna go to the feet. And here we go. All right, so we're back. And we're gonna work on the feet. So again, you choose which ball you want to use. You want a broader brush stroke, a medium one, maybe you have a little hot spot, or even like a finer hot spot. This can go in between tendons really easily. Again, I'm gonna start with the big one, but know you have choices. You may, if you have trouble balancing, because this requires a lot to be on one leg, you may need to hold on to something, maybe like a table if you're doing this, or a counter. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put the ball underneath the ball of my foot. So it's kind of there, and I'll do a little side view so you can see. We're standing on the back leg, maybe having a hand on somewhere to support, and I'm going to just tilt my foot side to side. I'm fanning it. So if you see from the front, the action looks like this. Okay, so we'll just keep fanning on the ball of the foot. Now our feet have 3 main arches. And you may not know that. You may be mostly familiar with the inner arch. When people say, oh, my arch has sunken, they mean this inner arch right here. But you actually have an arch on the outside of your foot, and then you have a transverse arch across the toes here. Anytime all 3 of those arches, any one of them collapses, all 3 of those arches are not in balance anymore. So it's important to keep that in balance. So rolling out the feet, we have a visitor. He's making the camera move. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is the same thing, but now it's in sort of the middle forefoot. And again, I'm putting weight, so I'm pressing down on my foot, and I'm again rocking side to side. This is usually the most tender spot on people's feet. I'm just gonna rock there. And hold on, keep rocking. I've got a dog who's eating my sock. Drop it. That's your blooper. All right, we're gonna move to the ball to the heel. So now there's a difference. You can put it right on the solid part of the heel, or you can put it right when you feel your heel where it dips in. There's a little soft spot there. That's where I'm gonna put the ball, although you can do different spots. This one's a little funnier, like wiggling your heel side to side. So give it a little wiggle. Little wiggle. It's kind of like you're putting a cigarette out with your heel. And then stamp down, stand on it. If you can, lift up your back heel so that you put all your weight on the foot with the ball under it. And you just stay there and breathe. And this might be a little intense. That's okay. Great. And then releasing that. Okay, so that was the first part. If you want to stretch the tops of your feet, you can. A little bend in the knees. All right, so then we're going to strip down on the foot. So if we look at our feet again, here's our arches. Arch here is transverse arch, lateral arch, medial arch, and they all form a triangle, right? Which is our foot. Now what happens a lot with our feet is that as we wear pointy shoes, our feet become this sort of position, and you've probably seen your feet do that because most kind of modern shoes that look stylish like to point the toes and squish your toes. It's actually not very good for you. Your foot is supposed to be like this. So it's a good practice to scrunch and then spread your toes and work on that, and that will activate your arches. It will also stretch this area. So this is just another additional thing to think about as you do that. So in the vein of that, of starting to open up this fascia and all the muscle tissue of the feet, we're going to strip down the arches. So we're going to start, this is the hardest one, we're going to start from the pinky toe side to the heel. So we're going to strip here. Then we're going to strip through the middle, right down here. And then you're going to strip through here. Okay, so kind of getting that all that area to release. And just to get a little hint on me, you can see where from dancing, where I don't know if you can see this, it's kind of gross if you don't like feet, but I love feet. But there's a little indent here. I actually have a sunken transverse arch, which is why my big toe goes in, which makes me less stable. So it's really important to kind of get this area to loosen up so that this becomes a more buoyant arch. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so we go onto the pinky toe side there, and we're going to strip down the lateral arch. So you push down with your foot, and then you move down towards the side of the heel. Now, it will slip out often. This is the one where the ball slips out easily. Hold on to something if you need support. I'm bending my standing knee for support as well. I'm not locking out that standing leg. I'm bending that standing knee, so my standing leg, which is my left leg in this case, is really stable. It's solid. It's holding me. I'm working there. And I'm pushing down. That's why it's a little bit jittery as I go down. Now you can push down and you can pull back. That's another option. I find that kind of hard to do, but you can try that as well. As you can see, I lost the ball. So I just like to push down and knead that way. Then I'm going to go for the middle down to heel, middle of my foot. So I'm going sort of between the second and the third toe respectively towards the center of the heel. And again, I'm pushing down, so it's like the action is down, out. So I'm pushing down, out. And again, you can do this as many times as you want. You can do more than me. Now that once you have this routine down, you can make it up as you go. And then we're gonna go under the ball, the big toe, and out to the heel. Good. Pushing down and out. Now the pinky balls are rubber that you have in your little hand and foot pack. And they do probably deflate after some use. They're not the most sturdy balls. You can spend a little more money and get some nicer ones. There's on Amazon, they have a company called AcuPoint, and they come in a sack of 2, and there's like a million massage things you can do with those. Those are great. I'll show you what they look like just in a second, so in case you are really obsessed with this ball rolling and it's making a big difference for you, you can get those. I'm not trying to sell things, just more like self-care. All right, so once you've done that, stand on your feet and see how that feels. And you may see in this video, because I've only done 1 foot, what I'm noticing is there's a little more space now in my right foot, which is the one that I chose to do. And if you close your eyes and stand straight, you may notice that the entire side of the foot that you just did feels different. And it's really good to always check in, evaluate what is the difference between your sides. Like, I have complete relaxation all the way from my low back down to my hip and foot. I almost feel like I'm sinking into the ground with the foot that I just worked on. So rewind this video, do the other side. And one moment more. So just so you can see, this is the ball sort of therapy kit that you can get on Amazon called AcuPoint. Yoga Tune-Up has them, but they're overpriced, and it's the same darn thing. So I hope that was helpful for your holiday season. And if you have questions, call me up. You're my family and friends. And I just hope that this is a helpful kit for you to feel better about yourself in these really strange and curious times that we live in. And Tycho says goodbye as he eats my shoe. Say goodbye, Tycho! Love you guys.